What's up, everybody? Citizen Kimberly here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you for visiting, thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing. This is amazing, and now it's time for an episode of Netflix and Chop, where we slice open and dissect the featured film. Today's feature we're going to be discussing is a 2017 Netflix original, a science fiction thriller titled iBoy. Starts off, and immediately we get a picture of what we know is the main character, Tom. He's sitting at his computer doing his teenage, and we zoom out and kind of float out through the window where we see a huge overview of England in all of its magnificent, bustling city glory. We then see another shot of Tom, and he's doing his teenage boy thing. He's at a school where they all wear these super cute uniforms, and he's kind of catching up with his mate, and his mate is like, yeah, alright, you got this girl, you should really talk to her, bruv. And Tom is, he is really careful to show his affections for this young lady. We are introduced to the young lady named Lucy. Lucy is not the typical love interest, which is a really cool thing. She's kind of the quirky, smart, almost kind of guy's gal, She's not like, oh, I'm this beautiful feminine thing. She's kind of like, yeah, but there's something really cute about that. So then as we're following Tom, we get introduced to what I would call the quintessential bad dudes. It's this group of dudes who go to the same high school as Tom. They're still looking cute in their uniforms, but we know that they're jerks because of what they're saying. And they alert Tom to the fact that they know that he has a crush on this girl named Lucy. So immediately we know that this is an issue. These bad dudes are going to be the bad dudes throughout the film. Later on we get introduced to Tom's Nan. Nan is a cool chick. You may know her from such films as Sleepy Hollow. You may also know her from a flashback way back of a little series called The Black Adder, which was amazing. She frequently played the queen on there, and her name is Miranda Richardson. So he's interacting with her. She seems like a down Nan, Nan as in grandma, and they are having a really interesting conversation to where we can see that she really cares about him and he really cares about her. Onward we go from the film. Tom is talking to Lucy again. Lucy invites him over to her house to do some homework. Tom is completely flushed. He's a really nice young man, and he is really enamored with Lucy, and now he's wondering if Lucy is inviting him over because she really wants to hang out with him, or she's just really inviting him over to do homework. Either way, he's ecstatic as he's toiling over these thoughts in his teenage boy mind. He gets to Lucy's house. Upon entrance, he sees that there's somebody on the floor, so he knows something is wrong. He can hear Lucy sobbing in the background. He walks down the hallway, and boom, there are dudes in masks coming out of her room, and immediately Tom, instead of doing the fight, he does the flight, and he's off. They chased him down the hallway. Now, we don't really get a close-up view, but we can see that there's this corridor in this complex where they live, and Tom is running. He's trying to call 911. He's got the phone on, and the dudes are coming from behind him. They have a gun, and boom, shots go off. Tom is down. The dudes run off. Later, Tom awakens in the hospital. He's got a gash across his head. His Nan is there, and she's explaining to him that he's been shot. Tom remembers everything, yet there are these eerie sort of sounds and ringings that are going on within Tom's head. And he's kind of like, what is this? After Tom is released from the hospital, we kind of get to see exactly what these eerie rings are doing to Tom as the progression of them starts to escalate. So along with this ringing comes certain powers that have now been manifested within Tom. So Tom begins to get a hold of these powers, and he begins to become a sort of master of them. And really, I would explain these powers as a combination of technology and advanced telekinesis. And we found out that the explanation of this would be that Tom, while holding his cell phone, got shot in the head. So fragments of the phone actually got into Tom's brain upon the phone shattering and him getting shot. So they weren't able to get these fragments out of his brain, hence kind of connecting Tom to this electrical, technological mass of the world. So he is able to connect technologically with all things electric, like phones and TVs and blenders, anything that has to do with electricity or anything mechanical or anything that has to do with technologies, computers, banking systems. Tom is able to get into this. Now, Tom is actually having a crisis of conscience because he's feeling guilty that he ran off and didn't try to save Lucy while she was in trouble with this collection of young men that did harm her. Instead of fighting them, he's run off and he has been struggling with this. He then finds out through means of technology via computers and phones the collection of gentlemen that has actually done the deeds to Lucy. So he seeks revenge on them, and he actually goes not only through them, because they're like the lower tier, you know, they're in high school, so there's like several tiers of bad dudes. So he goes after the high school bad dudes, then he goes after the high school bad dudes' bosses, then he goes after their bosses, which is the head dude. Now, let me just say before I end this little review summary that the head dude is actually the monster or the creature or Frankenstein's monster from off of the series Penny Dreadful, which was an amazing series, and this guy did a super good job as being the monster. I actually really love to see this guy in action, and he makes an appearance in the film as the head bad dude. So now I'm going to end the plot analysis, and I'm going to go straight into my thoughts on the film. So, this movie is set in Britain. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. I gotta hand it to Netflix to wrap up a movie so cohesively in an hour and 30 minutes and not kill me. I will say that the direction and the actors and the plot was really good. I'm going to recommend this film because I enjoyed it. One thing that I will point out in the film is that it is rather slow in the beginning, and it does remind you of, you know, one of these high school stories where the guy's in love, you're like yada yada yada. This could be the typical teenage film where, you know, I'm watching this guy trying to get the girl or the love interest. That's the way it begins, but that's not how it ends. And what I will also say is that I really enjoyed the means through which Tom gets his revenge. It's amazing. I think it's really cute how they fused technology. It's like this movie reminds me of Carrie with a twist. You know, the lead character doesn't really lose his mind. He actually thinks about and kind of strategically plans out his revenge on the quintessential bad dudes. And I really liked how they fused technology with telekinesis. You know, this is far out, but it's also a science fiction movie, so we give it leeway. And the way that the writers and the directors actually fused it together and made a really good combination of those two things was really cool, and I enjoyed it. The actors were awesome. I will also say that the love interest, Lucy, she does a super good job. I love how her character is written. She is not silly. She has sense. She actually pulls it together. She acts quickly. She's witty. I just really can't tell you enough how I love to see characters, especially female characters in films such as this, pull it together and act rationally and just as witty as their male counterparts. In my opinion, Lucy actually acts quicker and faster and wittier than Tom. So I really thought that that was super cool. As I've said before, the monster, the dude from Penny Dreadful, this guy has a lot of range, and he did a great job. As short of an appearance as he did make in the film, he did an awesome job as being the very, very bad dude that comes across kind of witty. You almost want to feel for him, but you can't because he's really a bad dude. So overall, I'm going to give this movie a thumbs up. Netflix, thank you very much for making this film. It's way better than the previous films that I've reviewed for Netflix. Sometimes they just lose the ball, but this one, they caught it, they caught the ball, they shot it, they made the goal, and I was into it. So if you enjoy science fiction thrillers, go for it. If you are into a story that kind of wraps up nicely, go for it. If you're a young teen, this is kind of like a young adult's book, but at least it was entertaining. I'm going to give it that. I won't take that away from it. Go for it. And that is going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for posting my videos. I enjoy making them. I enjoy the feedback from you all. If you've watched this film, please leave it down in the comments below. If you know any other science fiction films that may be comparable to this one, leave that in the comments down below. And I will see you all later. And as always, until next time, if you're into it, watch it.